Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Once again, we're going to talk about education. This is something that all of us should be interested in. So whatever you're doing, we're talking about the missions of the Kappa Alpha Psi Foundation of Maryland. Now, actually, they're located right here in Prince George's County. And some of their things, they're thinking about the kids, not control, and not the money. They do mentoring programs, profit organization. They do SAC workshop, scholarships, career guidance, self-improvement workshops, culture activity, STEM and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and concepts of workshop. And we have a gentleman here, Dr. Ted Blakeney. Now, he's one of the gentlemen that's really out here, and he's thinking, his organization is thinking what's best for the children. You've heard a lot of things about education, but I like to commend Kappa Alpha Psi for really getting down to the nuts and bolts of this, and that's education benefiting our children. Welcome, Dr. Ted Blakeney. I'm telling, outstanding. I think your organization hit the nail right on the head when they're coming out with positive things that will benefit the youngsters. And your organization is a nonprofit organization. Tell us about this April 27th coming up.
Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Brown, for allowing us to share this information with the broader community. April 27th, as you mentioned, is an opportunity for students to improve their strategy with reference to the Scholastic Aptitude Test. Mr. John Swans will come to town. He's a well-known national recognized lecturer for the SAT workshop. And hopefully we'll be able to have students register, and it will start at 8:30 a.m. and it'll go to 1. We feed them. There's a 5-minute break in between. We run it just like the regular SAT prep is done when you go take the test, so you get used to the rigor of the academic focus is needed to concentrate and do well that day. We run it the same way.
So your environment and everything is just like the environment is when they get ready to take the test.
Exactly. And we concentrate on teaching the verbal and the math. We tell the students various strategies, how to score nationally, competitively, and we also encourage them when they leave that to take the notes and go back and practice, because you're going to only get better by practicing these routines that we teach you. We psychologically drill into them there's another way to prepare for the SAT. It's not like you work your problems in the classroom. For the SAT, it's a critical thinking test. So you don't have to answer all of the problems they give you. For example, in math, it's approximately around 60-something. You only have to do 30 to score the national average. We teach the students to pick out the 30 that they know. And whatever they do, you do it quickly. You don't have time to ponder anything, but it's a speed, critical thinking opportunity, and you have to do it quickly and move on. And these are the kinds of strategies Mr. Swan emphasized with the students. And what we try to do is do it 3 times a year. We do it initially in September in the Flowers in the northern area. We had one February the 23rd at Ebenezer. We had approximately 500 students.
Excellent.
And hopefully we'll be able to match those numbers April 27th. So we encourage students to register. And it's great for the students who are juniors and in the 10th grade, because they can identify it as merit scholars if they score high enough, and then you don't have to pay for college tuition at all once you get identified at that level.
So that's the goal that you set for the youngsters, and I noticed that you're dealing with financial problems, which everybody has those. So what you can really do, by having that, the financial aspects of it, is that it works. It works all the time. But what happens is that most kids, they do not, do not have the financial to go along with the tests and the studies. Now, this test what you're doing is free for the youngsters.
It's
right?
free, and we also
okay.
encourage parents to come. We also ask them, we have a financial aid aspect to it.
Yeah,
we
okay.
invite representatives from University of Maryland, Bowie State University, and we have a lady named Mrs. Reagan comes in who personally has a book out about how to win opportunities for college. We also have a lady coming from the Department of Education.
Department of Education. So you're monitored, and then Mr. Swan is a nationwide, not a local, but a nationwide individual that will be there the 27th of April to help and put the kids in an environment where they'll be comfortable, be able to pass the test, and the positive thing about that is that they know how to get financial aid. You know, a lot of students do not know the procedure.
True.
Isn't that right?
That's very good. We have it going simultaneously with the SAT. The SAT goes from 8:30 to 1. The financial aid goes from 9:30 to approximately 11:30. We have two separate rooms, a room for the parents, and we have about 100 parents, 150 parents in attendance. And they're seeking ways, because we teach them that you need to start in the 9th, 10th grade looking for opportunities for your students. There are always opportunities for you. Best Buy has scholarships. Places where you do business have scholarships.
Right.
Churches have scholarships. Fraternity sororities have scholarships. We try to teach the parents that there are certain kinds of things they should do to get ready for the student to go to college. You can't wait till the last month or the last year to get ready. It's almost too late at that point. And you have to attend the opportunities that are presented to you. The various fraternities, they have college tours and things. And a lot of people have college fairs where they do bring in these various HBCUs and outstanding institutions, so they too can try to encourage students to apply to their schools. And with money being tight as it is, it's imperative for students, to all of them, to get the best grades they possibly can, to get the best scores they possibly can, and to work toward trying to accumulate financial aid. One of the for students, financial aid opportunities that students don't know about is the senatorial scholarship. The state senator in your district.
Right. And the thing that's wonderful about the program, too, is the fact that you are involving the parents. And I think this is the key to the educational system in Prince George's County really improving, is input from the parents. And then you're making the things knowledgeable about what it takes. So the parents have an opportunity to prep the youngster for the test, and then themselves, they get exposed to different forms of financial aid, which is very, very important. Sometimes youngsters have the scholastic and don't have the money.
That's true.
You see, and that's really a crying shame, and that's what we should think about in Prince George County, is the education of the youngsters, not control of the political aspects of it. Get involved with what the youngsters going to benefit from. And your organization, the mission of Kappa Alpha Psi, the foundation, that's located right here in Prince George County. And what you guys are doing, you're bringing people from all over the country. This is not just a local thing. The preparation and everything is you're bringing in top people that have background in education. And see, that's one of the problems that we have in Prince George County. We're making it a political thing, and we should be thinking in terms of education, helping the students and helping the parents. I think they're number one. You know what I mean? And your organization is, how old is your organization?
Well, of course, Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated started in 1911. This program, we've been doing it for 27 years. John Swans was here in D.C. locally, teaching in the D.C. school system. And I first met him when I was getting ready to go to grad school, and he helped me with the graduate record exam. That was over 30 years ago. But his forte is to break down tests. John was one of the forerunners. He and Alexis Herman, the Labor Department Secretary, Ernie Green, a bunch of those, it was in the Clinton administration. They went around the country teaching the firemen and the policemen how to pass the test back in the day. So John has always been a person who could take a test, break it down, and teach it to the participants.
Hey.
And that is what he does so well. He goes and actually take this test every year.
Okay.
And they see an old man come there and take the test, they do his job.
Okay.
And John takes the test, and then he'll tell us the latest things they're doing with the test.
Great, fantastic. What we're going to do, we're going to take a break now, and then we'll come back with more information. Isn't this fantastic? Here is Kappa Alpha Psi, located right here in Prince George County, is doing something positive for the education of the children. They're not worried about control. It's a non-profit organization. See you in a second.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite. Unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book could be the first little thing that helps to change a life.
People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Hi, welcome back to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And we have the #1 program subject here, and that's education. And we really got the young man here, Dr. Blakely. He's former NIH, the background of the people that they're bringing and the mission of Kappa Alpha Psi organization. Now, all of you parents out there and some of you non-parents, your grandparents, you need to look and listen to this. As far as education in Prince George County concerned, Kappa Alpha Psi hit the nail on the head. What they're emphasizing is the parent and the student involvement. And this organization has been doing this about 27 years. They have some professionals coming here from all over the country. Dr. Swan?
John Swan, yes.
John Swan will be here,
yeah.
and it'll be the 27th of April. And what you need to do is make sure you find out about Kappa Alpha Psi Foundation of Maryland, and it's right here in Prince George County. In fact, they're on Central Avenue in Mitchellville, Maryland, and they're doing a terrific job. This is one of the answers to the problems we have in education, is getting the parent and the student together. It's not the teacher's fault. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the system. The system is not bringing the parent and the student. And along with that, doctor, what happens is that you all have packaged financial aid along with this, along with these workshops. Now, tell us something about when the parents should be out there starting working together on this project.
Well, it's interesting, Dr. Brown. The sooner you start concentrating on the financial side of the problem, the easier it is for the student once they gain access to the institution of higher learning in which they would like to matriculate. For example, as soon as a student can understand division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction, they're actually ready to come to our SAT prep. Middle school students are welcome because they have that background. What the SAT does is they'll take easy arithmetic problems and disguise them as complex mathematics, which tricks the student's mind into thinking this is algebra or algebra 2 or trig and it's something I can't do, when really if they go back to their basics strategies, they can understand how to resolve the problem. John Swan explains all of those kinds of nuances to the students and help them get psychologically prepared to critically think through these tests. So as soon as the students get identified as talented and gifted, as early as the 7th grade, some parents take their students to Johns Hopkins and get them tested, then they don't have to worry about paying for any education for the rest of their life. They are on what we call the Merit Scholars Program, and the schools come after them, giving them award-winning full-year opportunities. So we ask our students to practice and become those kinds of students. Now, there are some students doing SAT prep courses in their high schools with individual teachers, and they are doing good. But the majority,
But you're saying basically that they should start at junior high school.
yes,
That
yes.
They should start early.
Yes.
See, and that takes time. You're talking about, what is it, 2-3 years? You know that they have prior.
they have
Yeah.
to prepare for it, and they come and you go take the test over and over and over and get your high score. But what we generally end up doing, the students in our community, unfortunately, take it the last year of their high school, take it one time, and they're in and out, and whatever it is, that's what they roll with. Unfortunately, that's not the way we want our students to do. So we're looking for the 10th and 11th graders to work now this year in preparation for their senior year. So you want to work now. That's why we have it 3 times a year. And this next one is at Wise, and it starts at 8:30. It goes to 1. We feed the students, give them a 5-minute break, but we feed them at the end. We treat it just like the regular SAT curriculum, as we said earlier.
But the key to it too is that in this environment, your organization have brought the parent and the student together. So the parent knows what it's all about, how it functions, and which the case is now they don't know how the Board of Education, how the school are functioning. You see, they would, if they understand, because you can't raise a kid, the teachers can't raise your kid. The parents have to get involved in the educational mood. And one of the major things, not only knowing the system, how it works, but is the financial aid. Everybody needs money, the scholarship program, things of that nature, because that way the kids, they have a future before they reach the college age.
True.
Before they become competitive, looking there for a job, because you're doing the preparatory work that's necessary for the youngsters to be successful in any educational system. I'm sure that Dr. Swan will say that because he has been all over the country.
True.
He's not limited to Prince George County.
Right.
Prince George County is not the only one that have problems. All the schools have problems. Youngsters have problems throughout our educational system. And I think, and I like to say how important it is that your organization, located right in Prince George County, has one of the answers to the problem that we have is that we have to emphasize, the parent and the student combination. You can't do it by the parents themselves. You can't do it with basically with the student, and you can't blame the system. See, because the parent has to be involved, and I think that's one of the problems that we have is the parent is not involved, and the parent gets really upset when they look at the cost of education. And in fact, well, there's no sense in Mary or Jordan they could have 99.9, but we can't afford it. You see what I mean? How are we going to get in an environment? You got to work those two things together. And the parent is responsible for that, not the teachers.
Right.
You see, the parent is the one that has that obligation to see that the child gets the education.
And
so they should be more involved in the education system as far as decisions are done. You see what I mean?
That's true.
And right now, the system, they really don't get the parent involved. The parent is the outsider. You know what I mean? But the parent is the key, because he is raising or she is raising the child. The teacher's not raising the child. The problems that you have with social problems, all of that is based on the relationship of the parent and the child. And your organization is the only one that I know that's out there really doing something positive. It's a nonprofit organization. Here you're retired. You know what I mean? But you're out there trying to give back. And that's the thing that we, on Ed Brown Show, we try to tell everybody. Hey, you have to give back. You didn't make it by yourself.
No.
You
That's
know,
true.
nobody made it
That's
by
true.
themselves. So you
A lot
have to
of good
give
people
back.
helped
The
along the way.
evolutionary elders, that's one thing we stress, is giving back. And your organization there is that it's hit the nail right on the head, is that we have to bring the parent and the student back together so the parent understand what the student is going through, and the parent can, in years, prepare the student both ways, financially and scholastically, if they know what you're doing.
That's true. That's true.
You-
Very good, very good. And you've hit some key points that I can't touch them all. But let me just, one that you said, we give back because good people helped us through the way. We weren't born thinking that we would get doctorate degrees.
Right.
A lot of good people invested time in us, from Boy
Right,
Scout
exactly.
leaders to teachers who took us,
The churches.
the churches, untold number of people who can't be mentioned here, who helped shape our lives. And what we tried to do is bring the parents in, and some of the parents are sitting at the beginning of John Swan's workshop, and then, because it starts at 8:30, and then they'll leave at 9:30 and go to the financial aid workshop where we bring in people from various institutions. Now, of course, all parents have to fill out the FAFSA form. That's the financial aid form. And like you say, everybody needs money, and based on your income level, that determines what the school can do for your student in terms of opportunities, loan grants, and that kind of thing. But also, if your kids have a certain niche, shall we say, if they like STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, if they like science, then having worked at the NIH, I know the NIH has certain programs for minority students. And they have programs, it's called Diversity Supplement. And these programs are designed for postdocs, doctoral, they're designed for students in undergraduate. They also are designed for students in high school. If you're 16 years old and have a Social Security card, have an official transcript, have a resume, and a letter that we will give you if you contact us, then we can start putting those students in world-class laboratories such
World
as
class.
Georgetown, GW, University of Maryland. Now these are for the high-level niche students with good GPAs, no nonsensical type students. But if you're kind of student, a regular student like I was coming
Yeah, a
through,
regular student.
well, then I wouldn't suggest that high-level type program. But I would suggest that we have other programs like the Patriots Technology Training Program.
They're right.
They
The Patriots is fantastic.
Right, and they work with us, and we work with them. And Cap Alpha Psi, just with the Black Engineers Organization, just won first place national in the Lego competition.
Right, I remember.
So I'm saying that there's
I
some
had the young man on here. Yeah,
Right. There are
right.
some places for students, even if you're not at the top of the rung of the food chain, shall we say. We have opportunities for you. The Patriots work every Saturday. There are opportunities at various schools where we try to put money so the students can, in fact, go and have competition with reference to sea perch, with reference to the mathathon, the reference to Kid Zone, where they have these kids in competition. And the Patriots have won nationally, and they have a science bowl that they have right here in Prince George's County over at Kettering Middle
Right.
School.
And I've at the science fair that Prince George Community College, I participated in that as a judge.
Right,
So
okay,
yeah.
okay, you familiar with
yeah,
this.
I'm familiar with
Right,
the
right.
opportunities
So
that,
we
that are out
connect
there.
and collaborate with all these programs along with the 100 Black Men's Organization and Men's Aiming Higher. We worked with them, and they had a pre-Madden Super Bowl. Xbox, the kids love these Xboxes. And they had some great videos out, the Madden 13. They had RG3 up there.
Is that right?
They had him up there. So, I mean, the
RG3,
they came
even
out that
Redskins
quick.
are taking
They came out
involved in
that
it.
quick with the video right after the season, and the Super Bowl was 2 months later, and the kids had that great Xbox out there, and I was captivated by that myself. But all this is getting the kids to utilize their times in a scientific manner.
Right, right. So they don't have the problem. We worry about the crime, but when you think about programs like that, that's important. And that's what we should be emphasizing, programs that's going to keep the youngsters busy on positive things.
Right,
you see, but the key, like I said earlier, and people out there need to listen, the key is the parent and the student getting involved together, not dropping them off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Participating with them.
Right.
And don't blame the teacher. It's not the teacher. The parent is the one that has to get involved in any economic system, educational system. If the parent is not developing anything, like your organization is developing individuals because of the fact that you exposing the youngsters to positive thinking.
Right, right. And
now, once again, give us about this program coming up 27th.
April 27th with Wise Senior High School from 8:30 to 1, and we encourage you to register. And if you show up that day, we'll register on the spot. Not a problem.
Right.
And of course, John Swan will be there, and we'll have a financial aid component.
And this is free. Hey,
Free.
This is free. This organization is really working on it. And don't get involved. They're not worried about who's in charge of the money and who's politically they're not involved. And we don't need the political system involved in this. What we need to do is get the parent and the student together for a program. Okay, then, this has been Ed Brown. And I tell you, boy, this education thing, and I want to thank you, Doctor, for being here. Blakely, I'm telling you, this is wonderful, timely, and everything. See you next time.
Thank you.